Set in Manhattan, the film introduces us to Emily and Luke, a young couple who work as analysts at Onet Capital, one of the city's most ruthless hedge funds. As proof of his love, Luke invites her to his brother Theo's wedding. However, their time on the dance floor is short-lived because they quickly lock themselves in a bathroom to passionately make love. In the midst of it all, Luke notices that he has spread Emily's menstrual blood all over her dress. While they try to fix this disaster, an expensive ring falls from his pocket, and when he picks it up, he surprises Emily with a marriage proposal. The young woman is left speechless by this turn of events, but eventually accepts when he promises her eternal love and care. Instead of returning to the party, the couple escapes through a window to head back to their apartment to celebrate their engagement at dawn. They then take separate routes to get to their jobs, as it is frowned upon in their environment for two employees to be in a relationship. In the elevator at the company, they meet as if nothing had happened and act like mere acquaintances. They both then sit at their desks to begin their work as analysts, competing with one another for the best deals. During the day, most of the analysts attend a meeting when suddenly they see Queen, the manager of the corporate portfolio, PM, destroying his entire office in a fit of rage after having just been fired without any apparent reason. Despite this, the analysts continue their meeting calmly, since such dismissals are an everyday occurrence and efficiency is paramount. After Queen's dismissal, rumors spread around the office that Luke will be the next PM. Discreetly, Emily approaches her boyfriend to share the news, and of course, they celebrate appropriately. After returning home at 2 a.m., Emily receives an unexpected call from a colleague who summons her immediately to a work meeting, even though she had requested not to be disturbed at that hour. Emily shows up at a restaurant, only to find not her colleague but Campbell, the head of the hedge fund. Campbell reveals that Luke is far from being one of the company's best employees and that he actually desires her to be the new PM. It is an offer Emily cannot refuse, although she worries about how her boyfriend will react upon learning of her promotion. Luke congratulates her immediately and seems unfazed by not having secured the position himself. The next day, Emily focuses on her new role in which she must direct Luke and the other analysts. At the end of the day, she is finally able to attend to her mother, who has long wanted to congratulate her for her engagement and is even preparing a party, though Emily makes it clear that the plan must be canceled due to her new responsibilities. Finding that Luke is not at home, Emily locates him in a nearby bar, where he once again congratulates her on her promotion. But he keeps asking if Campbell tried to take advantage of her the previous night. She admits that he is frustrated with his job and promises to use her influence to secure him a promotion. Unfortunately, his attempt to praise him in front of Campbell does not go as planned, as the businessman reminds him that Luke's last risky bet cost him $15 million. Following this, Emily is forced to go out for drinks with the executives, while Luke returns home disappointed with his own performance. Emily continues to push for Luke's promotion, even though Campbell explains that he was only hired as a favor to a friend and isn't expected to last long in the company. In an effort to improve his reputation, Luke enrolls in an executive leadership program taught by Robert, a renowned businessman. When Emily arrives, Luke remains absorbed in his classes. Meanwhile, his girlfriend tries to seduce him, but he prefers to sleep, stating that it is too late. In the following days, Luke endures boring work meetings while Emily enjoys herself with the bosses, further complicating matters. Emily reveals that Campbell handed her his VIP reservation at a luxurious restaurant, which she wanted to use for a romantic getaway with her boyfriend. However, Luke interprets this as an inappropriate insinuation from Campbell. After another day in which he makes no headway at work, Luke turns to Robert's classes, where the speaker urges his audience to take control of their lives with a firm hand. That night, Emily returns home in high spirits, hoping for intimacy with Luke, but he remains focused on his executive course while reading a book by Robert. Luke spots a piece of advice about appearance, suggesting to his girlfriend that she should improve in that area. Offended by the comment, Emily demands an explanation. In response, Luke exclaims that no one can take her seriously if she dresses like a schoolgirl. Back at the office, Luke insists that Emily invest in a certain company, a suggestion she accepts enthusiastically. After buying a new outfit, Emily returns to work only to discover that Luke lost $25 million on what was supposed to be a safe investment, even though he had reprimanded an analyst for the error. Campbell then calls him foolish for having trusted Luke, a harsh attitude that surprises Emily, but is part of the job. At the end of the day, the couple meets at the bar again, where Luke promises to make up for his mistake with another investment. While Emily prefers to play it safe, Luke pleads for another chance as he investigates the rumor. Emily receives a congratulatory message about her engagement and realizes that her job has kept her from enjoying this milestone. So she pounces on Luke, trying to rekindle their intimacy. However, Luke is unable to get in the mood. And then Emily receives a call from Campbell, informing her that he will proceed with a somewhat risky investment at dawn. Later, Emily learns from the news that Campbell's bet has paid off, earning the company a substantial profit. When she arrives at the office, Campbell apologizes for his earlier behavior and hands her a reward of $75,000 for her achievement. To celebrate, Emily sends a message to her boyfriend inviting him to dinner, though she is unsure whether to tell him that she will be paying. As she searches for the right words, her colleagues invite her for drinks, a gathering that takes place at a strip club where her inebriated co-workers confess all their romantic escapades with women. Emily does not take these comments personally and instead invites a dancer to her table, getting as drunk as her colleagues. Later, she returns in a sorry state to her apartment, recounting to a bitter Luke the inappropriate jokes of her colleagues while throwing her belongings onto the table. In the midst of her drunkenness, Luke discovers her sizable paycheck. Emily asks Luke to make love to her in exchange for a promotion, but when he refuses, she calls him pathetic. In response, he retorts that the only pathetic person is her, accusing her of acting like one of the men, when in reality she seems like the prostitute they paid for. The next day at the office, Luke overhears colleagues discussing how Emily spent thousands of dollars on a dancer. Shortly after, Rory, the other PM, is suddenly fired, which Luke sees as his big opportunity. He immediately asks Emily to nominate him as a candidate for the position, but she does not want any further complications with Campbell. In reaction, Luke storms into the boss's office to deliver a speech in Campbell's honor, confessing that Campbell was the reason she got into this job and expressing his desire to become the future Campbell. He even begs on his knees for the position, though Campbell introduces him to Derek, the new PM hired from another company, for his excellent performance. On his way home, Emily finds a melancholy Luke drowning his sorrows in alcohol. She tries to motivate him to try his luck at another hedge fund, but he refuses to listen. Meanwhile, Emily receives a call from her mother, who reveals that she has arranged a surprise engagement party. At the same time, Luke shouts at her for discarding his notes about the executive book. Emily exclaims that the course is negatively affecting him, to which Luke responds that it is his future at stake, as he does not receive promotions as she does. Despite Emily's attempts to defend herself, Luke firmly believes she is Campbell's favorite because she never knows how to say no, and he feels he deserves more. Fed up with the argument, Emily confesses that the rumor about her promotion was a misunderstanding. In reality, Campbell had intended to fire Luke the next day. Luke does not show up for work or return home, leaving Emily trying to contact him. Her mother calls to inform her that they are on their way to the city and that Luke's parents have been notified about the engagement, since he never told them, all for the sake of his engagement party. Emily sends a message to Luke, acknowledging the mistakes he has made. The next day at the office, Luke appears out of nowhere, while Emily is in a meeting with foreign businessmen. Seeing her boyfriend arrive drunk, Emily loses her concentration until he interrupts the meeting to fetch some coffee. Following that, Luke confronts Campbell, accusing him of being a cruel boss, feared by everyone. He declares that Campbell will sink his company with his own merits. To cap it off, he reveals his relationship with Emily and that she offered him a promotion in exchange for a sexual favor. Then Luke disappears again until nighttime, when Emily learns that he will be attending her engagement party. Immediately, she confronts him at the bar, sparking an argument in which Luke proclaims in front of his entire family that Emily earned the PM position because she had relations with Campbell. Enraged, Emily smashes a bottle against his face and runs away. However, Luke manages to intercept her in the bathroom, where she asks why everything must always revolve around him, unable to accept the truth. Luke pushes her against the wall, after which they begin kissing and having relations as they did in the old days. But Luke goes too far, repeatedly smashing Emily's head against the sink. Afterwards, the protagonist returns home feeling abused. The following day, Emily meets with Campbell to assure him that Luke is nothing more than a lunatic who has been accusing her at work for years. However, that story is not enough for her boss, who acknowledges that they had a relationship and informs her that human resources will take charge of severing Luke's ties. Now, Emily's only task is to move on with her work. After a day at the company, Emily encounters Luke at her apartment, packing his things as he prepares to move to San Francisco, where he meets a partner willing to provide capital for him to start his own company. In response, Emily is indignant because he has not apologized for hitting and abusing her. He claims that both of them were hurt that night. Emily takes a kitchen knife to force him to beg for mercy. At first, Luke resists the idea, but Emily stabs him to show that she is serious. As a result, Luke ends up crying and begging for forgiveness on his knees. The woman stoops to his level and appears as if she might give him another chance, though she makes it clear that he must clean the blood off the floor and leave her house.
If you want interesting movie recaps, like, share, and subscribe to follow us for more movie recaps.